We're live.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Understanding Money Part 2. I'm James T with WHQT Hot 105 Miami, CMG style. We have a slogan at CMG saying it's what we do. And of course, I joined this group with Robert Henderson, the Henderson Financial Group. And it is a pleasure, Mr. Henderson. I must apologize. Last week, I was being honored by Terry Elliott and his family's Community Hall of Fame,
Oh
and
man.
it was an awesome event. We broadcast live from 15th Ave in Miami, and they presented me with an award, and they have what's called a wall, a Hall of Fame wall, and I've been, I guess one would say, enshrined on the wall with a host of other people from the community that has done um, great things throughout the years for the people of the community. And
Wow.
that community, Rob, is um, most people would say changing, but I say growing, because you and we're always going to look for the PMA. We're not going to look for the NMA. that positive mental
Positive
attitude,
mental.
right? Positive mental attitude is so important. So I want to say thank you to Terry Elliott and his family and all his supporters. Um, Many people came out. Oh man, I don't want to call names, because if I do that, I know I'm going
We'll
to leave
forget
someone
somebody.
out. Yeah, right. And I wouldn't want to do that. So I just want to thank
So
the
that's on
community.
15th Street and what happened? That's 15th
15th Ave,
Avenue?
15th Ave,
On what
right?
street? And it's like a
Uh,
wall or it's like
right.
it's like
Yeah,
a Hollywood star or whatever, but it's like a actual wall.
wall. It's a
It's a
wall.
physical wall.
It's a, I, you know something? I don't know if I can post it up. Maybe I'll get a chance to post it up while we're talking this morning. But yeah, it's a wall, and they do. Um, um, I guess a engraved bronze plaque that they put
Wow.
on this wall, man. And,
Wow.
an image of the individuals, and there are a host of individuals that are on that wall. But Rob, it goes back to something that we talk about often, and I was sharing with a friend just this morning and over the weekend how when we look back over our lives, Bob Proctor talks about how we don't determine what our purpose is, we discover what our purpose is. And sometimes we don't look back to say, wait a minute, what were those mile markers in years or on certain dates that we can now see that led us to where we are today, but what is going to take us to a place that we've never been before. You and I often talk about how service for us is just who we are. We are purpose to serve, and both of us in our different giftedness that the Creator created us and gave to us. And I use the example so often about fish and birds. You don't have to train a fish to swim. You don't have to train a bird to fly. It's what they were created to do. And then how will you use that gift that God has given you to be a blessing to others? And that's where I stand. That's why I look back now and say, oh my goodness, I can see mile markers, whether it was Miss Juanita Gardner, Clyde Spencer Richardson, Principal Toots in at that little junior high school, or whether it was Mr. Leonard Cooper, the first quote unquote black man that I saw that did not work for a white man or a white company when I was a child.
Okay.
And to see that he was able to create a business because he was a farmer. He owned his farm. He produced this product. He sold this product. Everybody else I knew worked for other people. And then to have Bessie Thomas come into my life as a grandparent who had lived her life and then said she wanted to teach me how I could produce and never have to beg someone for a job as a third grader, Rob. That was a, oh my goodness. I owe my life to that lady who gave me that, and that confidence and that how-to-itiveness that I could hey, live the life that I've been able to live, and to give of my life as I've been able to give.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I couldn't help but ask myself. I said I wanted to ask you, um, how has, because you was reflecting, you
Hmm.
were reflecting. So, how has the uh, commercialization of Christmas, how has it uh, changed for you?
Oh, we had that discussion too. I try not to um, put a damper on what other people do, Rob. So I'm sort of reluctant to talk about,
No, I
you
said
know,
for you, not
yeah,
for other people. Now,
but Rob, when we when we talk about how we discover these things, um, some people may take it the wrong way. Okay, at the risk of someone taking it the wrong way, I, I'll generalize. I resent the fact that people will tell me when to give, what to give, and tell me, quote unquote, facts that are not true. They are facts because people say it and people write it down and put it in books, but it doesn't mean that it's true, man. So I don't want to be led. I don't want to be led by, Rob, we give all the time. We don't give just at Christmas, you know, and the gifts that we give, I pray, are better than the gifts that go on a tree or out in the parking lot. Those are material things. And, man, I love the fact that I could be a part of this presentation as often as I've been in the past few years, and to have given you of what I had been given, and giving you the opportunity to share with other people how their lives could be changed. To
yeah,
get to give to Rob, those are gifts, man, that again last a lifetime. When you could share with someone and say, wait, here's a new way of thinking. Here's a different way of doing. Here's what you have that you don't realize that you have. And if you will come to the Henderson Financial Group and allow us to, we can show you how you can create a life, not a business, but a life. Most people want to create that. Oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to have a business. Wait, but what about that life that you're living? Are you living your best life?
yeah. I was thinking about that on in last show here. I asked Linda, and we were talking about, how do you think a person feel, or how would you feel that if you bought a gift, went out on Christmas Eve, and you bought a gift for someone, and the day after Christmas, that same gift was 50% off, and that and the establishment, the commercialization of the gift giving, they're not going to even try to hide it. They don't even wait a month. The next day, they put it on sale and drop. So what do you think we should learn from that in terms of economics of the hype for one day? I mean, because Linda,
Rob, and Rob, and they charge you to exchange that gift. And some places you won't get that lower price. I mean, so you bought the gift, wow, and you go back and you said, wait a minute, I want to return this and I want to get this same gift, but I want to pay 50% less. That there's a problem there. But again, do you blame the people who do it, or do you blame us for allowing it to be done unto us?
well, once you're grown now, if you're not a kid, once you're grown, you're supposed to, be responsible for your own. That's why it's something called the wisdom and understanding. Once you are considered an adult, You're supposed to act as an adult. You're supposed to put childish things away. And remember, life is about learning, whether you want it to be about learning or not. If you don't learn, you will repeat the error and the mistakes. So instead of going forward, you go backwards. Only thing that goes forward and is going to continue to go is time, but you yourself and your condition, it's going backwards. So I just wanted to say, every year, I mean, I'm 64 years old, but every year, the same, 3-card Molly trap, happens. And it doesn't happen just to 16-year-old, 15-year-olds. I mean, that, it happens to people that are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. And a lot of people go out and charge and run up credit cards that are going to be, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 29% interest, on the credit cards. And you buying something that is psychological, is an emotional thrill or a temporary pleasure.
But
the next day they drop the price in half. I just think that's scandalous.
Rob, well, but guess what? As you said, these 64 years that you've been here, it's been happening year after, and it doesn't just happen on Christmas, Rob. This is what I'm saying. I think it's helpful for us to have a show that would hopefully change the mindset of some people in saying, rather than invest in that quote unquote piece of jewelry that someone said costs 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. I mean, Rob, unless you're doing a commercial to sell that product and someone is paying you to wear it, you couldn't find that on me. Because I would find a better place, hopefully, to put 100,000 or 200,000 or $300,000 rather than putting it around my neck and saying, "Hey, Rob, look at me. Do I look like a millionaire, a billionaire, or whatever kind of nair you want?" Yeah, Rob. So I mean,
well, my first thought would be, why am I looking at you? You got one for me? Where mine at? Now, if you show me this, you must get ready to surprise me, so I can have one. You must have got one for me too, so we both can be enjoy and just jolly and this. I know you ain't wearing that and saying, "Look at me," and you ain't got one in your pocket for me. You must be showing me that, and then you getting ready to go in your pocket and give me one, so we both can be in la la jolly land.
But Rob, if we both had that, there would be somebody like a Warren Buffett or some of the other Bill Gates say, "Look at that fool! look at those fools!" Both James and Rob. Because hey, Rob, but again, there's a scripture that we all talk about. When I was a child, I acted as a child. When I became a man, I put away my childish ways. But sometimes we don't grow up. We just go up, and we think that it's impressive. I'm not impressed. As a matter of fact, somebody could walk in with $1 million medallion on it, and unless they had the price tag on it, that they paid for, I would never. I wouldn't know it's $1 million diamond or.
The way my mind would be thinking, if you walk in with $1 million medallion on it, what would be going through my mind? I'm gonna be like, $1 million, is that all it do? Can it do anything else? It's around your neck. Is that all it do? Tell me you're gonna hit a button and you're gonna fly up to the moon. Tell me you getting ready to that what $1 million you pay for that. Tell me you're gonna press a button on it, you're gonna walk through that wall. You trying to tell me it's $1 million and it's just hanging on your neck, around your neck? That's it. And I'll start thinking, what a misuse of $1 million. That's it. But around your neck.
But Rob, and these aren't children. These are people our age or grown adults. And I'm saying, oh my goodness, if Robert Henderson could get their attention, for 2 hours, 3 hours, and say to them, you know something, I know where there's a piece of property in an area that's about to explode. And how would you like to invest, in land? How would you like to invest in the building of a community and providing uh, affordable housing, uh, workforce housing? How would you like to go into one of the areas where it's what do they call it, an opportunity zone, you know, and get hey, the benefits of, hey, where I can show you where you can take that million and it will make millions. It'll be like a seed. It will make millions for you and provide need and meet the needs of people who, quote unquote, are going into areas now just to get warm because they can't afford rent, they can't afford to own a home, and they don't have a place to stay. And these are not just adults. These are people with families, Rob, living in this place called America. As we look on TV and we see people who are wading water to get on land called the great old US of A to hopefully get a chance to have what's that American dream, whatever that is. Because man, I stopped with American dream. I don't know the last time I had an American dream. you know, I'm not gonna let anybody plant that seed on me. I want to go beyond what I can ask, see, or America or
So,
imagine.
so James, what if you looked at it like this? The guy who has the $1 million medallion on.
Hmm.
What if you looked at it like this? He's playing his role. He is playing his role. And you shouldn't be, it shouldn't pain you to see him because he is playing his role for you to see and for you to bear witness. That is his role. And to try to convince him and change him or her mind, you're wasting your time because that's their role. They're playing their position.
But Rob, who's the puppeteer? Because if we gonna be the puppet, somebody is pulling the string,
Yeah, but
jerking the chain.
yeah,
Come
but
on.
the puppeteer is playing his role, and the puppet is playing their role. And then you and me, we're observing so we can know the difference. So then you don't. So then when you look at it like that, that's how I found comfort looking at it like that, where it doesn't pain me. I'm saying this person is, and it's a lot of them that playing their role. So the people like you and I, we're under attack. It appears like we're under attack because we're saying, oh my God, there's so many of them they cannot see, but they're playing their role, and it's supposed to make us stronger. Because if you want to get to the kingdom, you have to be able to be surrounded and see and not be led to cross over to that which you know that is really dead.
Robert, I'm not trying to get to a kingdom. I'm trying to live in this kingdom that I'm in. Yeah, Rob.
Well, that's
Rob,
what
see,
I mean.
everybody talk about.
Listen,
Wait, Rob. Those same people who talk about going to heaven, they
now
will
you're
tell
stepping on
you.
some toes. Now
Wait,
you're
wait,
stepping on some
wait, Rob.
toes.
They will tell you that in that same reading, he says that he's coming back here. So if he's coming back here,
Are you trying to leave?
why? Rob, why am I going to leave where he's coming? I mean, even great athletes, what the hockey players say. Hey, what makes me great is I don't go where the putt is. I go where the putt is going. I want to be there when the putt arrives so that I can score. Come on, Rob. But see, that's why I'm saying, we're going to be pariahs, saying, oh man, you're going against the economic system. Well, whose economic system am I going against? I mean, believe me, I'm not trying to use anybody or hurt anybody. Hey, Rob, there was a time that I had gold like Mr. T. Probably not as much, but hey, that was the trend. Yeah, Rob, half of that stuff I don't even know where it is. Yeah,
No, you outgrew it.
Rob, but
You outgrew that, right? You developed. You
well,
developed.
it was probably a fashion statement at the time or whatever that was, but And when I was, yeah, but we changed, man. When you told me that I had money in my walls, hey, that wasn't a light bulb moment. Hey, the roof flew off my house. And sunshine, moon came in. Hey, I was saying, do I go to the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom? And you showed me something that I could not see. So this is what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. When we said, when we were talking prior to going on, and we said, hey, the program would be about like a year in review, you know. I mean, you've talked about an awful lot of things that I think if people would go back and listen, you know, they would pick up on things, not so much that they could have for themselves, but that they could have for themselves and share with others. Because,
Yes.
brother, I mean, that's the greatest joy I get, man. The greatest joy in my life is being able to be a blessing to somebody else.
Well, I
Yeah,
talked about that earlier. That's what we talked about on the earlier show is being able to service.
service.
Service is the key, man. If you serving someone else and you're making someone else happy, you will be served too. And if you want to prosper, all you got to do is serve more people. That's it, man.
Success comes from service, and the byproduct or the result of serving and being successful brings about earnings, because you can be trusted with more if you are willing to give of what you already have. But if
Yes.
you want to grab, as my grandmother would say, get all you can and can all you get. hey, hey, boom, come on. But you're still begging. You know, you're begging for God. Oh, God, bless me. Why? Why should I bless you? if God, if God said, why should I bless you? James T, why should I bless you? I'm gonna say, hey God, I promise you, if you bless me, I'm gonna find someone to be a blessing to. And I'm going to tell them that it's because of you that I'm able to bless them. So therefore, you get the glory and I get to feel good. And I'm gonna get me a bigger bucket. Because you're gonna keep your word and you're gonna give me more than I gave them.
so
And I
so
look,
you think
yeah.
most people ask for a blessing just for themselves? They ain't talking about blessing nobody else.
That's why they're in the shape they're in. I say they do. Yeah, I
So
want.
you saying what you're saying is exact. That's a fact. It's an exact.
You
It's a
tell me
fact.
that not wait, well, Rob, you tell me that 95% of the people, you know, are out there,
That's
hey,
true. That's true.
spending more than they have. Therefore, I owe, so off to work I go. Yeah. And I hate my job. Man, if I hated my job, I'd have left yesterday. And wait,
Yeah.
don't y'all mistaken. I've been off for a few days. It's not because I hated my job. Yeah, because when I go back, Rob, I'm going back to serve.
Yes.
I'm already setting up people to interview, to talk about what they're doing in the community. Hey, we're about to have the MLK parade, MLK committee in Miami. They're about to go from a day of a parade to a weekend of activities. I was just with Velma Lawrence after the benefit that she had serving young people or young girls and families, because we call it Embrace Girls Foundation, but when you help anybody in the family, you help in the family. So you know, and they had a holiday celebration for the 155 young ladies. They had volunteers to come, Velma Lawrence and Stephen G. They even had some of the judges came by, Rob, you know, in the
Beautiful.
community to support this. And thank you for your support. You know, I've been working with with Velma for supporting about 20 years now. And when you turn around and you have the Velma Lawrences, you have the Robert McKenzie's in our community that are helping to build the community that will go beyond our lifetimes. You know, Bill Dozier, who are just helping our community and the people in the community so that they can have a better life and give of that they have been given. There are people out there, you know. I got exposed to what they call it. I think it was soup and champagne. I did not know that on the first of the year, the Haitian community will be celebrating their independence. I think it was 1804, something like that, and the Haitian people came and to help America during the war for their independence. Come on, brother. And these people are suffering today. And they're suffering basically because they defeated a greater war power. When Napoleon came up in Haiti, hey, he had to put his tail between his legs to protect his behind because they didn't play.
And the immigration policies that the U.S. has does not favor the Haitian people. It doesn't favor them. The dark-skinned people, the immigration policy of the U.S. just does not favor people of color.
And guess what, Rob? I sat there and I listened to people talk about, while having dinner, history, of the people and what they're capable of doing. Just like in America, everybody wants to think that people of color in America, that we were lazy or shiftless, as whatever that word's supposed to mean. I don't know what shiftless means, but but we helped to build this country that we all get a chance to enjoy now. But at one time, we weren't even considered as being human beings.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
And that's something should fire you up and make you want to be all that you could be, to demonstrate that that's a lie. To recap, we talked about last show. We talked about the system, the establishment, in terms of how America really is a business corporation, entrepreneurial country, and the whole.
Some people say it's not a country. Some people say it's not a country; it's a corporation.
Well, it's the laws and the system is really favorable to people who are in business and for people who are creating and developing. That's what the whole U.S. system, the tax code system, is 99% favorable for those people that are in business, that are creating, whether it's energy, oil, food, housing. That is the main crust of how to and it's service. But for the employee, I was telling Linda how if you look at strength and weaknesses, if you just look at that when you're on a plane and this turbulence, extreme turbulence takes place, and the little mask drop from the ceiling of the plane, they always tell you to put the oxygen on you before you put it on the next person, especially if you have a minor. And the reason why they tell you that is because, can you imagine, even though you love your kid or minor next to you, you do want to take care of them and make them, strong. So when the mask drop, you put it on a little shorty, a little girl or boy or whatever, baby. But that's not proper. You're supposed to make yourself first. Love thyself first, strong. And then once you have made yourself, then you serve others. But you got to be able to serve them with something. That's why it says be good to thyself. Self, man, because if you are, and I gave an example just to back up what I was saying, James. If you had fallen off a cliff and you was hanging on, by both hands, and if a weak person who's 60 pounds, frail, homeless came there and say, "Hey, James," and stick his hand out and say, "Give me your hand so I can pull you up." Well, you're gonna have second thoughts. You're gonna like, "Nah, buddy, I'm good. I'm hanging here. I'm gonna wait till somebody else come along.
Go get somebody.
Go get somebody else, because you're not the one." So that 60-pound frail, and you want to help James T on the side of a cliff, he
I don't
wants
know.
to help, but James, you like, no, man. If you take your hand off that one, your hand off the cliff and give it to him, both of y'all gonna fall. So
But Rob, you talk. See, what you're saying is it goes against the rules. See, because what you're talking about, taking care of yourself first, and boom. No, you know what people are taught, that first go to the church. Rob, that's not what my grandmama taught me. My grandmother gave to the church. But like you said, boom, she said, a portion of all you earn is yours to keep. To keep. Now, that doesn't stop me from giving the tithe or the 20th or the 30th or whatever, to other people, to the church, to serving in the community. But if you have nothing to plant, how the heck you going to expect to harvest? And see, that was Mr. Leonard Cooper, a black man. We had 60 acres, and I don't know how many. He had multiples of our 60 that he would plant and farm. And then he would turn around and he would sell. But whenever he brought in the harvest, he would have myself and the grandson to take the seed out to the barn so that there would be seed to plant for next year's crop, so that there could be another harvest.
wow, that's planning. That's planning. That's like don't spend all your paycheck.
Wow. Well, wait, and even even this corporation called the country, they make sure they get theirs where, Rob? First.
First. Right from payroll. You got an employer, man, before you get that money in your hand, you can't say I'm gonna pay you later. No. They said, let me give us ours first. And they taking 20-30% off the top. And they said, you all go figure it out. Whatever I'm giving you.
Rob, Mr. Priest said you're considered selfish if you put yourself first. Guess what? I'd rather be selfish than selfless. not having anything.
Yeah, because think about this, James. In order for me to teach or help someone in financial planning, I had to get it first.
Yep.
I had to get it first. And once I got it, then I can give it to you. I had to get it first.
Right.
I mean, the people who say Jesus had to get it first. Then Jesus gave it out.
He came, hey, Rob, he came with it so that he could share it.
But he had it.
So that we could get it.
That's
so
right.
That we could go out and give of that we had been given. But hey, if both of us have nothing, hey, we're beggars, because we got to beg somebody else.
Hey, corporations, entrepreneur, business owners, the tax structure is when the corporation, the business owner, entrepreneur, when you make money, use the money you made to make more money. And then that you don't use to help you make more money, pay tax on that. So if it's 100%, if you make 100% of your money and you use 95% of it so you can make more money,
you pay tax on 5%.
Then pay 5%. But if you're an employee, as soon as you get the money, they're already gonna take 20, 30, 40% off the top, and then tell you go do whatever you're gonna figure it out how you can survive.
And then we're gonna tax we're gonna tax that again.
And they're gonna tax that again, especially when you go to the gas station, the stores, and all that, right? So that's the system. But we have not been taught what we're talking about right now in its simplest term, going to college. What we're talking about right now, they don't teach you in college.
No,
they just don't.
No, they don't.
They don't teach you.
Well, wait, Rob. They teach that in some colleges.
No, what I mean by that is not a requirement. what we're talking about right now. This is what we're talking about right now is should be a standard requirement in education and understanding money, because we're going, all of us going to use it, and all of us going to handle it, and all of us supposed to get it and distribute it and to share it. Each and every one. If you're going to be on this planet, you need to know how to speak the language of money. How to get
Yeah,
it,
I agree.
how to
I
keep it,
agree.
how to make it grow. Yeah,
I
I
agree.
don't care if you're going to be a doctor or whatever.
I agree with you, Rob. I agree with you. Hey, everybody, you're listening to Understanding Money Part 2. I'm James T. And even though we got into the conversation without him introducing himself, he's Robert Henderson Jr. And yes, we're sort of reminiscing because this year has been a great year, believe me. And the best gift that you could receive tomorrow morning is awakening. Yeah.
Wake up, be able to wake up, right?
Right? That's the best gift that you or I or anybody can get tomorrow. Because if you don't do that, we'll be talking about you, and hopefully we'll be saying good things about you too. You know, but that's where it starts. That's where it starts. For me, sound health, peace of mind, freedom from fear and worry, positive mental attitude, labor of love of my own choosing, and the ability to control and direct my mind to the ends that I desire. Boy, Rob, if I keep that till 120, Rob, Rob,
That's about control and direct your mind. That's a woo, man.
Rob, can you imagine that? That you're talking about a gift. The waking up is great, but as my grandmother used to pray every time she got on her knees, that I heard her pray, Lord, thank you for keeping me in my right mind. You know, now that's how she said it, the right mind. I don't know what the right mind is, but hey, knowing who I am and being able to control my thinking and recognize that I could change the paradigm, you know, from that quote unquote negative mental attitude to that positive mental attitude. Oh, Rob, that's power. Rob, come on. You know, hey, I mean,
That's very powerful.
what stuff can bring you that? What I don't
Material
know.
stuff?
I don't know any material stuff. I don't even know any medication that can bring you that.
Yeah, I don't either, James. I
Yeah.
don't know any stuff that can bring you that. I tell you, the stuff that are really helps you, you can't really buy it. You know,
Isn't that something?
the stuff that lasts forever. You know, that wisdom and understanding. You know, you all of us should be seeking wisdom and understanding, because if you have wisdom and understanding, you can get everything else after that, because everything else comes from that. A wisdom and understanding is a seed, and it's like which one would you want, the fruit or the seed? I mean, give me the seed all day long.
Oh, hey, as a matter of fact, give me the fruit, Rob, and I'm gonna pass the fruit off to somebody else, but I'm gonna plant that seed. I'm gonna plant, and what most people do is they eat the fruit and throw the seed away. That's garbage. Put that in the garbage. I'm saying, okay, remember where that fruit came from. It didn't come from fruit; it came from seed.
So let's use that as a metaphor. Talk about that. When most people eat the fruit, first of all, most people, you have to go buy the fruit. So when you have to part with your money, you go buy the fruit, and then when you eat the fruit, and the fruit was so good, you throw the seed away, and you got to go buy some more. So you forever buying something that you want. When wisdom says, okay, you buy the fruit one time to get it started. And then once you buy that fruit, you can eat the fruit, but the seed, you got to plant it.
Treasure that seed.
Because you planted the seed, because the seed going to turn into more fruit. And pretty soon after time, you got a lot of fruit and a lot of seeds, and it will go on for generation. That is called wealth building. Now, metaphor, that's called wealth building. That is an understanding. That is the beginning of wisdom and understanding. So that's the opposite of people that live paycheck to paycheck. Living paycheck to paycheck mean that you have been given something because you did something to get paid. So you did the service and you got paid. You kept throwing away the seed, and you kept throwing away what you needed to plant. And you wondering why you keep living paycheck to paycheck, because you keep not using the fruit to eat it and then plant some of it. That's why you're supposed to plant at least a 10th of a 20 of it. Don't throw everything away.
No. That's going back to Rob, what we said before. That's why you need to put your mask on first.
That's right.
And then, I've shared this before. I'm sure I did. Prince Gideon came to visit me and told me, he said, "Brother, I came to share something with you. You're a good brother, but I've watched you. And every time you get something in your bucket, you're always dipping in and helping somebody else." He said, "I'm going to give you some wisdom. Fill your bucket first. Give from the overflow, and you will always be giving, and your bucket will always be full."
That make a lot of sense.
Ooh, Rob. Come
In other
on.
words, don't eat your seed. No, don't eat the fruit and give the seed away.
Oh,
Plant.
Rob,
Yeah.
my grandmother, I heard my grandmother say to my aunt once, she wanted to borrow a few dollars. And she asked, of course, "What do you need the money for?" And she told her whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. And then my grandmother said, "I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I don't have it, but I don't have it for that." and of course, Miss Bessie just walked away. Rob, Rob. It was like I was listening to a prophet. Yeah, I should say prophetess, I guess. But anyway, Rob, all these lessons are there, and that's why I love you so much, because you're willing to
more.
you're willing to give of that you have learned and gained, and you give it freely. But that's why God continues to bless you. Because what you get, people don't understand. Folks, let me tell you, Robert don't get this information for free. He pays to go to get these ideas, to get these the new plans or structure, or where the puck is going. He goes to conventions and conferences, and
There's
they don't
cost.
There's a cost.
Yeah,
And
sometimes it's monetary cost, but the other time it's time cost.
But there's always a cost.
It's a contribution. That's right.
It's all hey, man, I don't think anything worth having is worth giving something for. Hey, why I want to pay for knowledge, particularly because I can take knowledge, Rob, and yes, I can go out and get me some soil and I can put that seed in the ground. Now it's going to take time. I always say, to any solution, to any problem that you have, always add two things: plus God, plus time. Plus God, plus, hey, whatever you come up with the answer to your problem, always say plus God, plus time. Boom. And it'll work. Because when you plant the seed, you can't go back tomorrow to get the harvest because you planted it today. But you got to be willing. That's where what they call sacrifice. I don't even call it sacrifice anymore, Rob. I go to that law of attraction, where you're on a different frequency, where you look beyond where you are, because most people are looking just where I am today. No, think about it. Wherever you are today, you were not there a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago.
Parnell Victor says cash flow is king.
Ooh, you telling me? That's when you can really say yay, and nay, nay.
That's that overflow you're talking about. That's that cash flow.
That's that cash flow, brother. Because Rob, if you're still giving and your bucket is full, you're gonna have to get another bucket.
That's true.
Because the law that man didn't make says, if you give and give in the right spirit, you will receive multiples. multiples. Come on. So, hey, I'm already overflowing. I'm giving from the overflow. Send me a barrel. I don't want a bucket
So now,
anymore.
so the law also says so everyone can give. Can everybody give?
Everybody got something. Rob, you breathing. You're here. You have something. Man, do you know one of the nicest things I received today was from a cousin who we were at a family reunion months ago. I don't know, June, must was last month at week in June. And she just sent me a nice message, you know, saying, you know, wishing me the happy holidays, but expressing love. I won't get into details, but just expressing love from her family. And yeah, and hey, Rob, she didn't have to send me a card. She didn't have to send me a gift wrap package. And I told her, I said, hey, you made my day just by thinking about me.
That's good.
Yeah. Rob, come
That's
on.
pure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, right. Out of the blue. If somebody said, hey, I'll give, you know, I'll give you this, tell me that so and so is gonna text you and say hello, let you know they were thinking about you today. Boom, man, that's beautiful to me. You know, that's a great Christmas gift. I don't have to put it under the tree. It's in my heart.
Yeah, that's pure. So when we recap and look back, like what have we learned this
Over the
year? I
year.
mean,
Woo,
yeah,
Rob, you've
what
been
have we
teaching.
learned?
You've been
Yeah,
teaching. You've been teaching. Go ahead, Rob. I'm gonna shut up now for the rest. Well, how
yeah,
much
no,
time we
no,
got?
no, no, no.
Go ahead. Yeah,
But
I'm gonna
but
shut
but
up.
we look and say what have we learned over this year? We learned that um we learned about business structures too, you know, and I want you to think, you know, because thinkers rule the world. And you got to be able to think outside the box and never stop asking questions. Why things are like this? And why are things like that? And why are things like this? And why are things like that? And who made things like this? And who said so? And why is it so? And is there a better way? Is there another way? Is this the only way? Or why do we think this is the only way? You know, the curiosity, you know, development, and you have to ask that in yourself. Am I doing all that I can do? Now, in order to get an answer, you really got to be true to yourself. Now, some people, they say crazy is when you start lying and believing your own lie. I kind of agree with that.
Don't take that any deeper, Rob, because we're in a situation in this country where don't go. Continue.
So, you know, you want to be able to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with nobody else, there again it goes that self, me, I am that I am. And there's a reason for the I am. The I am means that you need to have a relationship with I am, with self. And that relationship has got to be true. That relationship when you have with yourself, you can't let ego and pride keep you from I am. Now, ego and pride will often, it's their job. Ego and pride's job is to block the doors of wisdom and to block you from discovering the true I am in you. It really is, man. Oh man, I ain't doing that, man. Your pride, ego, man. I ain't gonna say sorry. I just don't do that. That's ego and that's pride. Let me tell you something. That blocks a lot of the prosperity that you are inherently gifted with. When you have ego and pride, it keeps you from the ultimate truth. It keeps you from flying. It keeps you from being limitless. Grudge, hate, envy, jealousy, all that stems from two invisible emotions that are in each and every one of us. That's ego and pride. You've got to tame them and put them to the side and tell them, no, we have no more use for you. We don't have no more use for you. We're trying to go to the moon. We need to get rid of ego and pride. And ego and pride is so good. They can disguise themselves And most of us think that we are ego and pride. Ego said, no, I'm you. No, 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 no. I want to be clear with this. We all understand the 5 senses where we can see, touch, smell, okay? Feel, all that. But guess what? We are more powerful than our 5 senses. We can command and do far greater than our 5 senses. How do I know that? Look at, come on. A lot of us think that if we can't see, we can't function. Do you know? Look at Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, they could see the piano keys and play the piano, not even see them. And they don't have no eyes. So that tells you don't really need eyes to play a piano. Now, most people would not believe that, right, James? They would say, no, I don't play the piano. I don't have no eyes. But it's been demonstrated that you don't need no eyes to see and play beautiful music.
That was the trick of the enemy, Rob, to tell us that we just had 5 senses.
That's right.
They didn't tell us about perception. They didn't tell us about memory. They didn't tell us about imagination.
Bought into it.
And intuitiveness.
Yeah, bought into it.
But we figured that limited us. But everybody else who were, quote unquote, excelling in life, they were understanding perception, the will, the ability to imagine. And because, Rob, we talk about this all the time. Everything that we see today at one time did not exist. Now, if you think about that, somebody had to imagine something that did not exist and create it. And that somebody was given the same opportunity that we've been given, 24 hours a day, and all those other faculties, that we would need to create it, whether we could see or not.
Isn't that great, man? I tell you. So a lot of us don't even know who we are because we have so many layers of ego and pride. Do you know a true prerequisite in order to truly understand and feel love and give love is you got to get rid of ego and pride. Because when you love someone, you got to be ready to say, I'm sorry and I forgive you. That's true love. Not I love you until you make me mad. That's pride. That's ego. And I loved her so much, but she dumped me. Now I'm going to kill her. That wasn't love. That's pride. That's ego. Because if you really love them, you can't kill them. You'd rather see them happy, even without you, if you really love them. Be friends. So I'm going to tell you something. Ego and pride, man, it stops so many people. People like, no, man, I got to go buy this $250 shirt for my 6-year-old to go to Christmas breakfast. And I got to get the shirt for my 6-year-old child from Nordstrom's. And it's $250. And it's a designer. Now, who's that? That's ego and that's pride. Got you in a trick bag and you don't even know it. You might as well be a junkie. You might as well be on crack. Because ego and pride is another thing. It's crack.
That's a drug. It could be a drug. It could be addictive.
Hey, my brother Broadway having a good time with this. He like, not me. Broadway know who the I am in him is.
Oh, wow. Bob Proctor did that in an interview. And he said, do you know who you are? And the guy said his name. He said, that's not who you are. He said, those are just 2 words. They gave you a name. But who are you? And then he went on to say, he said, you know what you need to do? You need to find some time. You need to take some real quiet time and go to a quiet place just to realize that, hey, this body, that's not who we are. We are a spirit with intellect inside this. Oh, hey, and believe me, if you had the right cameras, you can see the movement of our bodies. Hey, yes. But again, Rob, like you said, we're not taught this.
No.
What if you were taught in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade that, wow, you have an imagination. You can imagine things. You can be creative. You have intuition. You have a will. You can perceive things to be that are not. You can find a different way of doing things. I mean, you could. I'll bet you there'll be. I don't know how many kids right now. If you said the word typewriter, they wouldn't know what the heck you were talking about, because they weren't here when there was a typewriter. Or you say what, that multiple phone line and all of that. Hey, we haven't always had hand phones and computers and that. Come on, man.
That's just developed. That's from growth and development and imagination. The reason why I started talking about the ego and pride, because in order for you to discover your giftedness, in order for you to commit and have a plan to build and create, you have to first be true to thyself. You have to know, okay, this is what I have to do. And you have to have a conversation with yourself, and you have to get rid of the outside chatter, the commercialization, because the commercials and the material world will take you off the who I am, because you trying to be like everybody else. But when you have to build, because you have to build and you have to create, you can't keep eating all of your nuts. You can't. You got to be able to say, okay. And oftentimes, James, when you are on a mission, the majority of people can't see it because it's not popular. When you really, really are on a mission, majority of people cannot see because their eyes are covered with material, commercials, bling, bling, jangle. They can't see the unseen. And it's a lonely feeling. But when you get to a point where you say, listen, especially after you reach the age of 40, I keep saying the age of 40, it should be a really turning point, a pivotal point for most people. Because by 40, you done did that, done that, got a t-shirt, went to jail, on probation, got off, married the wrong person, had too many kids, know how the system is, know that you cannot afford a job to be free. You need to be able to have more than what they say you're worth, because you're worth more than that. So that should start your creativity to get your marbles in spinning, to know that no one should be able to cap your earnings in 24 hours. Just because you're working for somebody else, getting them rich, that should not be the end of your existence and your mobility economically. You should be able to say, okay, I'm working for the state, the county, 8 hours. Now this time for me. Not no stupid weekend. Weekend? The weekend for who? The man or system? How the week gonna end for you and me, myself, and I? You got all the time you need. You can work 24 hours. Who told you that the weekend and you can't think and thrive no more? Who told you that? Man, y'all gonna get me fired up, and we're at the end of the show.
Rob, hey, one of the listeners, Mr. Harewood, they said I was dumb for buying property in the ghetto. Boy,
oh man,
and guess
good
what?
thing he didn't listen.
Hey, his bucket is overflowing. He can give from the overflow,
and it gets better. Hey, it's get better. Hey, it's gonna get better for Mr. Broadway.
And it's probably an opportunity zone, Rob. The ghetto is probably an opportunity zone, so he can get tax write-offs. He can, hey, but again, and even though he and many of us did it then, now it's not too late, because believe me, hey, the past we can't undo. The future, we don't know how much we have, but we do have right now. And if you can make that change right now, believe me, if you're so blessed to be here in the future, you'll be saying, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So that's where we are, Rob. Rob, it's been a great year, Rob. And it's going to be a better year for 2023.
That's what I'm so excited about, man. It's been a great year. We're learning, we're growing. Relationships are the key. There's no real thing. There's nothing real about saying that you're independent. Being independent is a sad thing. You want to be interdependent. I need other people. I
Ooh,
need other people, man. I
come on.
cannot do this by myself. I need other people for me to grow and learn. I need you. So so I love somebody that's good at what they do. I am a team player, just like my kidneys need my heart and my spleen needs my intestines. You know, every part of my body is in sync with the other part of my body. My shoulders need my arms. My elbow needs my fingers. My eyes need my ears.
Come
My
on,
nose
man.
need my mouth. You know what I mean? My neck sure enough need my head. Ain't none of them better than the other. But together, boy, they work really good together.
Wow, that
You don't want to be independent of nothing. You want to be interdependent. Let's work together, brother. Right, James?
Rob, that's why I could say thank you, brother. Thank you, thank Linda, thank your staff, because my thing always has been, Rob, I don't want to just deal with that I know, but I had to have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to recognize that there were things I didn't know, but because of my being in the right vibration, I could attract people like yourself that would, hey, come to me and without fear, without doubt, without ego, I could say, hey man, I trust you. James Fortune. Oh, hey, look up that song, James Fortune, called I Trust You. And
Okay.
I trust God to, bring people into my life that, I would attract people into my life that would give me an opportunity to get that he had for me that I cannot ask for, see, or imagine. Rob, that's a beauty. Hey, that's not a Christmas gift. Like what's his name? Solomon Burke said that's an everyday gift. That's an everyday gift, Doc.
Oh man. I
When you
just
can
got a
go ahead.
I just got a text from Larissa, man. We had a client that we meeting at 12 noon today. And she just texted me and said she cannot make the meeting today. She's in the hospital with pneumonia.
Mm,
So, brother, let's say a prayer for Sister Larissa.
Lord, oh my goodness. Father
Larissa.
God, we thank you so much for this opportunity that you've given us as we've reflected in the past of this year and the days that have gone by. And as we look with great expectation about the future, there are people who have joined us in helping us to be a blessing to others, such as Sister Larissa. And we pray for her health. We lift her up to you, and we know that all power is within her. So let her turn to the greater that's in her, that it will bring her through whatever is ailing her at this time, that she can be at a better place. And I'm certain that if you will do that, she will give you all the praise and all the glory, and that she will tell others how great thou art. Now, for those who have been with us this year and those who are there today that have posted up, and those who didn't, because there are people who are listening or viewing that may watch this later or have not posted up, to Ms. Dupree and Brother Harewood. And I see our friend Donna Jarrett Mays and others who are on there. We just pray for them. We pray, God, that you will bless them in an awesome way and give them the knowledge and the awareness of that gift that you have given all of us, which is the ability to control and direct our minds to more than we can ask, see, or imagine. Now, you talking about an everyday gift, that would be the greatest gift that we could receive in recognizing that you have already gifted us with the ability. And now that we're asking for that you have for us, that you will answer that, bless us, and we promise to bless others.
Oh man. Let the church say, hey man.
Amen.
Man, Merry
Amen.
Christmas. Happy
Yeah.
Kwanzaa. Happy
Yes.
New Year.
Happy Hanukkah for those
Happy
who celebrate
Hanukkah.
whatever you're celebrating. But more than that, hey, celebrate the fact that there's greatness within each one of us. Come on. There's more than we can see.
That's right.
So ask for my gift to everybody is pray that prayer. Ask God to give you that he has for you, that you cannot ask for, see, or imagine. Make that a part. Just try it and
Yeah.
watch what he does. He brought Robert, Linda, and others in my life to take me to places. Hey, it's not my expertise, but I know because I prayed the prayer and he sent them. Hey, I trust him. James
Beautiful,
Fortune.
beautiful,
I trust him.
beautiful,
Hey,
beautiful,
no
beautiful.
matter, hey, Rob, no matter what happens, because it's either going to, it's going to be either the foundation to build more on, or it's still going to, give us the chance to bless others. So that's where we are.
I love it, man. I love it. Love you, man. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Yes, sir.
And
So
I'll talk to you
will we
later.
be back next Saturday? Will we be back next Saturday? What is that? New
Yes,
Year's
we
Eve?
will. Yes, we'll be right back here.
Look out. Look
All
out.
right, look out. All right. Peace, love, happiness.